And last year we were probably getting an average of like 20,000 sessions per month on the website. And then obviously since the membership has launched, since we've redone all of those pages, since we've like revamped the messaging across the site, we're now getting an average of 30,000 views per month. So obviously it's gone up, over 10,000 by revamping those pages.
Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to another client case study. I'm here with Jess Walker, CMO at MEDICC. We worked together last year on a page for MEDICC's core membership offering that ended up revamping the messaging for their homepage. We can dig into that in a moment, but Jess, do you mind starting by telling a bit about yourself and a bit about MEDICC?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been working with MEDICC now for just over 2 years. Started as head of marketing and gradually got promoted to chief media officer, which is pretty interesting. MEDICC is what we like to class as a media, SaaS and enablement business. From a SaaS perspective, we're building our very own product to help salespeople from an opportunity management perspective. And then from an enablement perspective, we help individuals or go-to-market teams learn the MEDPIT Masterclass, value pyramid, things like that. We're going to bring new programs every quarter. And then from a media perspective, which is sort of my arena, we obviously are focused on blogs, articles. We're ghostwriting a book at the moment. We've launched, I think, under 10 podcasts, and we focus on events. And basically, it's like one big media SaaS enablement umbrella.
Yeah, you guys have got so much going on. I'm just curious, going back to the time when you wanted help from someone like me, do you remember what was going on at that time, what you needed help with?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things for me is MEDICC, the company, was still relatively new. We're still new now. We still class ourselves as a startup. We've been going roughly for about 3 years. But at the time, we knew that this membership model that we have today was coming. And we knew what we were selling to businesses and to individuals, but we couldn't quite articulate it. So I think we needed somebody with your expertise to come in and be basically like, this is what we think we do. You just sort of just write it down and be like, okay, this is what you actually do, and this is how it's going to make sense. So we really struggled with like, how should we actually launch the membership? And also the fact that we were catering for both individuals and businesses. How do we communicate that differentiation? And that's what we were really struggling with.
Yeah. I'm just wondering as well, like when you were thinking about like, however you were thinking about like zooming out and you were sort of evaluating options, whether it was to work with me or someone else, like what compelled you to work with me and not someone else?
No, I think the biggest thing for me was like, and especially for Andy as well, Andy's our CEO, as you know, but like you had an online presence and you were talking about what you were doing, you were passionate about it. And a big thing for us was having somebody with like genuine experience of what we were looking for. So we could see that you were a credible person within the space, but also the fact that you'd built up a personal brand around it was like kind of cool for us. But again, also the previous companies you'd worked with and the previous work you delivered, it was kind of like, this is a no-brainer that this person will be able to help us.
Yeah, I think it was Andy messaged me on Twitter, I think, after, I think you used the tool, right? Damon's testimonial.to. And I think that's kind of like how we initially got connected, right? Because Andy said just sort of CC'd us both in an email, right? Yeah, I remember that.
It all started with a DM.
Yeah, it's funny, like so much of like there's so many, like Twitter is just full of founders, and it's like interesting, that when one uses a solution, like that's a lot of businesses come through that way. But I'm just wondering, when we were working on the messaging and sort of pulling out those insights, was there anything about the process that particularly stuck out to you that you guys liked?
Yeah, we did 2 different projects with yourself. We obviously did the teardown and a roast, I suppose, as well as the full process. I don't know what your I can't remember the actual product name you sold it under in terms of the full process.
Yeah, like a messaging and page project. That's where I came in and interviewed you guys, and then we sort of figured out how to. Now, what pain points are going to lean into that differentiation piece to then come up with a page, right, that really sort of presented that offer?
Yeah. And I think if I think about the membership page that you came in to help us with, the thing about that is like at first you were kind of like, that's a bit of an investment for us at the time of the business that we were and the maturity of the business. But we knew we needed help with it. And I think, again, what I really liked about your process was the fact that you interviewed a lot of people within the company. So it wasn't just my perspective, it wasn't just Andy's perspective. You heard what other people in the different departments were doing and how they were talking to customers about it. And I know you obviously sent us those recordings as well, so we had, you know, we had visibility of what everyone was saying, not in a bad way to check up on what people were saying, but in a good way to be like, okay, we're all articulating it slightly differently or whatever. But I think that was really cool. And then also, like, the biggest thing for me, especially as a marketer, was that you basically designed and laid out the whole wireframe for the page. So for me, I was able to be like, once we got to that like final stage of the project, I was able to take that wireframe, basically give it to our web agency and be like, go do everything Harry says. Like, this is exactly how we want. And it was so clear, to the point where I think if you look at that page now, like I'm so proud of how that page looks. Because I think together, like, I'm going to take a little bit of credit for it, but it was mainly you. I think it looks amazing, honestly.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. And I think as well, a lot of people, when they hire a copywriter, they don't. It's that, like, how you go from the words on the page to the design. I think that can be like a hidden cost in a project when a designer then's got to figure out, like, what do I do with this?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously throughout the process, it was very collaborative as well. Like, it wasn't just I'm going to interview you, then go away for 2 weeks and then come back. It was very much like, let's get some feedback and work together on it. And I think just the tools that you were using to be able to provide it to us and then for us to feedback was just really simple. So I feel like the project, in my eyes, was like complex because of the changes going on in the business, but you made it really simple, and the final product was amazing in my opinion. So yeah, it was great.
Did you learn anything, obviously, like, coming in the outside perspective, and you said seeing, you know, the team, is there anything you learned about yourself that was kind of stuck out, or anything unexpected that was like okay, you know, that's something we didn't know? Or
I think the biggest thing for me, like, it's going to sound so cliche, but it was like simplicity is like best. And I think we sort of went round the houses, like, internally, in terms of how do we communicate what we actually do. And I don't know if you remember, but we had this word on the website that was called like operationalization.
Yes.
We're talking about how we can bring MEDICC to like the everyday, basically. So we I don't know if you remember, but we were throwing this word around for ages, and it got like, people in the team couldn't say it. We couldn't spell it. We couldn't say it.
I remember on some of the recordings, they were like,
yeah, exactly. And it was like, in our heads, it was like, it made sense. It's like, of course, it's operationalization. It's taken me a year to learn how to say that. But obviously, I think that was the biggest thing for us. It's like, okay, just because we think we can make it work and it makes sense to us, like, if a customer just sees that on the page, they're going to be like, what on earth is that? And I think another thing was what you highlighted to us is like, we need to practice what we preach. Like, we are a MEDICC company, so let's talk about metrics within our messaging. So I think you just definitely highlighted that simplicity is key, and just to back ourselves up with value.
Yeah, I wonder, like, since, you know, you've gone live with that page, like, if you've seen any tangible results, whether that's, you know, resonance or metrics or any kind of results that stick out to you since revamping the page with that new messaging.
I think the biggest thing is, like, obviously you helped us nail that one page, and then once we'd got the messaging right from a membership perspective, it really allowed us to extend that messaging across the whole entire website. So we basically revamped the whole website with that messaging, and like looked at all of our SEO. How could we link it back to that messaging? How could we bring in the value, the metrics that you'd helped us work with? And last year we were probably getting an average of like 20,000 sessions per month on the website. And then obviously, since the membership has launched, since we've redone all of those pages, since we've like revamped the messaging across the site, we're now getting an average of 30,000 views per month. So obviously it's gone up, you know, over 10,000 by revamping those pages.
Wow. Yeah. I also see, like, some of the messages, like the ones like, not all MEDICC is equal, like, you've got a few social posts going out with stuff like that as well. So yeah, I've noticed kind of like, just in general, like, all over the place.
And last year we were probably getting an average of like 20,000 sessions per month on the website. And then obviously, since the membership has launched, since we've redone all of those pages, since we've like revamped the messaging across the site, we're now getting an average of 30,000 views per month. So obviously it's gone up, over 10,000 by revamping those pages.
Wow, yeah. I also see like some of the messages, like the ones like not all MEDICC is equal, like you've got a few social posts going out with stuff like that as well. So yeah, I've noticed kind of like just in general, like all over the place, you've been sort of talking about the stuff that we worked on.
Yeah, exactly. And a big thing for us is like we did launch the campaign Not All MEDICC is Equal this year with the membership, and that's something that you helped us create last year. And I think because we had the groundworks of what we'd spoken about all that time ago, it really enabled us to just like bring it to life, I suppose. So yeah, there's lots more namey stuff to come. So yeah, we call it hashtag namey now. But yeah, Not All MEDICC is Equal.
Okay, so like you coined the yeah, you guys have got so much, cool little terms and stuff. I just wonder, like, as well, if you're speaking to someone in your shoes, like last year, who was thinking of working with me, on a similar project to help them, communicate their offer or their messaging, like, and they were on the fence, what would you say to them?
I think I'd say, like, the first thing is, like, you don't need to know the exact goals of what you want to achieve before working with you. So, like, don't be hesitant that you don't have it all figured out or you don't know what it is. And maybe I'm giving you like too much work here by saying this, but like, you helped us define those goals and you helped us define what it is that we actually needed to do. The other thing I'd say is, like, from my perspective as like a marketing leader, I have like a team of people, and I just don't have the time to focus on this. So having that external resource to be able to come in and crack on and do what they need to do was like incredibly helpful from a time perspective, but also from an output perspective as well. So I think I would honestly recommend it, because like the return on investment has been huge for us, as you've seen in the numbers.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Well, look, Jess, thanks so much for sharing your experience today. Look, I really appreciate it. This has been fun.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And hopefully we'll work again together soon.